Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you? Then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. Massive shout out to Joshua Doyle for hitting this super chat before the show even began. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video, the link to join the show. If you do, please mute the page you are currently watching. One last time, if you're new to the channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you do join the show, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Yeah, I've confused the order because I'm trying to work in to say not the shape of the Earth, but express your views on the nature of Earth, which I will properly work in one day to the intro. Now, we are joined by both Discord and Google Plus Hangouts on air servers, so I'm going to pass over first of all and say hello to everybody in Google Plus. So hello, Righteous Force, Paul, Flatzoid, and 10th Man.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good morning.
How's my mic sounding? Sounding okay? Mic check.
Yeah, you're sounding good. Sounding good. We're also joined by Brenda, Dougie, Earth-Shaped Investigator. Let's see, have a look. Force, Melochromatic. I think that might be, maybe that's Joshua. Anyway, and a few others. Red, hello, and XLRB. Very good to have you one and all.
Hey. Thank you for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure. Any signs of Earth curvature?
No, none of the Earth-based type.
No.
Not here.
Any signs of
How do you heard? Am I coming
rotation?
through?
Yes, was that Spurs?
I just test my mic.
Hello.
Yeah, am I coming through?
We hear you, Spurs.
Hi everyone.
Excellent demonstrations on
Hello,
Ranties.
Spurs.
So that's a delay. I might join in the main hangout because there's a delay in here, I think.
No worries. So many examples of how we have gas pressure in your demonstration, Spurs. It was wonderful. Thank you for that.
Well, we can get into that in a minute. I'm going to join the main hangout. Actually, give me a minute. Let me.
No worries.
Let me share my pain. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Alas, no.
Nothing. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Scientific evidence of what? Shout out to Travis. He made a good video yesterday on an observation that he's made. Check him out.
No sign.
Plain truth.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Nope, and nope.
Come on, Discord. Molten iron core. You've got to have something for us.
Might be shocked.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No, can't measure it.
9.
Right, Spurs. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without a container?
Well, this is what I'd like to discuss. We have to kind of define gases and things like that. So, I mean, are there any gases that cannot be liquefied? So, if first of all, this is what we need to find out. If there is, if all gases can be liquefied, well, then yes, because you can freeze liquids, and therefore they can be contained without a container.
Sorry, the question is gas. Not.
Yes, this is gas. These liquids are gas.
Stop, Spurs. Type into Google phase changes, and then tell me that after a phase change from gas to liquid to solid, that's answering the question: how can you have gas, that particular phase, without a container. The reason is because gas expands in all directions and has no bonds. It's not attached to anything. Well, that changes upon the phase change, and therefore the question becomes redundant.
Yeah, but again, these are just the labels of what we call them, so we can easily describe the state that the said chemical is in. Now, obviously, the chemical, the gas can be you can make it into a solid, you can make the gas into a gassy state, and you can make it into a liquid. But the state hasn't changed what it is. It's just changed its state.
It has. It's fundamentally changed from having no bonds to having bonds. Yeah, it has changed. What are you bloody on about?
Because you can still change it.
What is a gas, Spurkismo?
What is a gas? Well, this is what we're just talking about now, right? So it's broken down.
What is it? What is a gas? What is it?
Well, this is what we're trying to find out right now. So the gases.
We know what it is.
No, I've got to side with Brenda. No, I'm not going to let you get away with it. Brenda's asking you what a gas is. You've got Google.
Well, no, this is what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out if we know, or if we can define what actually gas is at a molecular level. What are the particles? And if they were to rejoin again, they would form a liquid. And if they were to freeze, they become a solid. So all it is changing state.
Hold on.
Is a solid a gas?
Go on, Brenda.
Is a solid a gas? Is a solid a gas, Spurs?
It's in a different state.
That's a no.
Well, it is. It is. It's just like you described it. This gassy state is now a solid, or this gassy state is now a fluid, or this fluid is now in a gassy state, or it's now in a solid. It's the same thing, and you're describing it, the state that it's in. So it's like if I make the letter, whatever.
Don't tell her what she's doing. Don't tell her what she's doing. Just let her respond.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't change what it's made out of. If it's oxygen, right?
Exactly. It doesn't change what it's made of. It just changed its state. Precisely, Brenda. That's my point. So if that's true, then just because you call a solid, because you want to choose to call it not a gas, because it doesn't look like that, you see it as a solid, doesn't mean it doesn't change what it is. Like Brenda just said, it's still the same composition of what it was. And now we have gas pressure, an ice cube without a container.
This is just total bollocks. A complete equivocation between fluids and liquids. Just because some people describe gases and fluids as the same doesn't mean they are. They are fundamentally different. They have no bonds. Totally different to liquids. And it entirely undoes the necessary to have the question, why do we have gas pressure without a container? If you're talking about bloody solids.
Yeah, this is what we're saying at the molecular level.
Water.
You're talking about the surface level, what you see. So you haven't observed exactly. So if you were to observe an ice cube at a molecular level, you would see gases or you would see liquids. You wouldn't see a solid. So it's changing constantly. Yeah, that's right.
No. Water is always water, whether it's an ice cube, a liquid water, or a gas. The gas is just a state that the water is in.
Rumpusing the hell out of her. Go ahead, Brenda.
Water is just a state that the water is in, whether it's a liquid, gas, or solid. That's all, Spurs.
Like a cloud. A cloud is water. It's just a gas.
Yeah, water vapor.
Its state.
Yeah, water vapor.
Yeah.
No, it's just water. It's just
water vapor. Water vapor, as opposed to rain, which would be liquid.
Water vapor. Yeah, it's in a gassy state now.
Yeah, that's right. Gas. Yes, that's right. Well done.
In a gassy state, I said, but it's still water.
That's right.
When it becomes more dense, you will now see its form change into raindrops.
Yeah, all we're doing is arguing about phase changes. We did this at the beginning. I said go and type into Google phase changes. So all we're now doing is discussing phase changes.
Google doesn't have answers here. This is something that you have to use your own logic and say, well, when we look at the molecular level of these things, they're still the same composition, as Brenda just said here. It hasn't changed what it is. It's just the state.
Yeah, it has.
Broken down.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it has. What part of no bonds aren't you getting?
So one particle of gas is what? It's water.
Yeah, Brenda's explained this to you. The chemical composition may remain the same. However, it is fundamentally different. It's no longer
No.
bonded.
It's
Simple.
different because you're bigger and that's smaller. That's the only reason. That's the reason why you say it's different. But to
No.
a fly or a smaller insect, that small bubble is big enough for it to drink from, or use or whatever.
No,
But
it's a gas, unbonded. It's not a liquid in droplet form with multiple. It's your fundamental level understanding of what a gas is wrong, Spurs.
well, Brenda's just told you that it's still the same state.
It's not the same state. It's the same chemical composition, not the same state. The state has changed.
Just change its state. Yeah, not what it
Correct.
is. It's still water.
Yeah, water vapor or
It's still water.
liquid water or ice water. Yeah, but those three
Still water. Yeah, it's
states
still
are
water.
different.
So if I have mercury and I freeze mercury, it's still mercury. If I make mercury into a liquid, it's still mercury. It's still the same thing. I've just changed its state. If I have mercury in a gas, it's mercury gas. It's still mercury.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
you got it. You got it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And water is always water, whether it's solid like ice, liquid like water, or gas,
Right.
Like in
Exactly.
a cloud.
I mean, no offense, Spurs, I said this last time. I'm teaching this currently to my 2-year-old with the use of a kettle and an ice cube tray and a faucet.
I'm just saying you may have got it wrong about the gas pressure, because this can only we do have gas pressure without a container. Like I say, an ice cube is gas. It's pressurized.
No, it isn't. It's a solid. It's not
Exactly.
a gas.
Exactly. That's the
so
point.
it's not
solid.
So when you say it's a gas, it isn't.
What? I don't know then. Okay, fine, whatever. But for me, it's still the same thing, but it's now in a solid state. You're just saying it's solid. It's something else. No, it's still water. You just changed the state. That's all.
This is called equivocation. Using different definitions for one thing when they have multiple different meanings. So no, when we talk about gas, it's just gas. It doesn't matter what gas. They all are the same in this respect. No bonds. Free to move in all directions. Simple.
All right, I'll prove it to you then. So can you compress air?
Yes.
And when what residue comes from that?
What residue?
Yeah, if it leaks, what comes out?
Well, if you've got compressed air and it leaks air. Have you never bought a bottle to clean your computer on the inside? That's compressed air.
What's the liquid? What
When
liquid
it
will it
leaks,
turn into?
air leaks out. It doesn't come out
what's
as
the
ice
liquid?
cubes.
What liquid form will be in that bottle?
If there's a phase change upon dispersion, it's still experiencing a phase change. If you're saying that you'll get a certain amount of liquid water, yeah, because there's been a phase change, usually caused by the actual vapor of water in the air and the temperature differential upon releasing a gas. Because of Boyle's law, the rapid expansion will... I'm getting rumpus to all hell whilst explaining this to Spurs. Shut him up. Spurs is fundamentally retarded in this regard. I'm explaining how during a temperature change, because of Boyle's law being implicated when releasing the pressure from the chamber, that you might see water vapour condense on the nozzle. But that doesn't mean that inside the bottle you've got liquid water. You've got compressed air.
Yes, and it turns into water.
No, it does not.
It does.
You're just retarded. I'm tired of this. You're just stupid. You're wrong. Sorry.
If it were to leak, it would drip water.
No, it wouldn't.
Okay.
You might find that because there's a temperature change that you get a certain amount of water that's in the air condensing around the nozzle, for example. But that doesn't mean that the contents of the condensed air, which is what's in the bottle when you buy it to clean your computer, it's air.
It's water.
Ugh. I give in.
It's
I'm
tiny
done.
particles of water. Gas is still the same. It's still in the same state as Brenda's just told you, but it's in small particles.
Define water, define liquid, define gas, define solid.
yeah, we can have a conversation.
Brenda's just told you it hasn't changed its state. So what you're withdrawing, what you're compressing, you can't compress the air. This is what we're trying to say. How are you
Yes, you
compressing
can.
air? Doesn't
Yes,
compress.
you can.
Yes, you can.
Yes,
Yes, you can.
Yes,
It's
you
called an air
can.
compressor.
Ask him about Boyle's liquid and Boyle's solid law. It says
No, I want to see a
JQ.
demonstration of air being compressed.
Thanks for the super chat,
Look at the
JQ.
tires on your car.
Yeah, it's fine
Are they-
particles of
Are they
water.
full of water? Your tyres full of water,
gas,
Spurs?
gas. We're talking about this is a
Yeah,
gas.
yeah, compressed gas in your tyres. Brenda's just smashed
Air, yeah, gas, not air. Water, the gas of water.
you. Yeah, so you
Fine
go
particles.
to the petrol station and you buy some compressed air by putting 50p into a machine which has a compressor. To guess what it does? Compress the air. What do you think compression is?
compressing the water. You can compress.
No, it's not got
Yeah.
water written on it. It might have if it's got a little tap to fill your washer fluid. But that's not what the compressor's compressing, I assure you. It's compressing, making smaller, pushing closer together, air.
How? How is it doing that?
How does a compressor work? I'm not having
Yeah,
this
how is it
conversation with
compressing
you.
the air particles? Well, how is it doing it? It's compressing the water particles.
Needs a container.
By forcing it to go down a smaller pipe with a motor.
No, that's just a myth. That's the old white.
No, it's not. It's an air. It's not a myth. It's a bloody air compressor. This is nonsense. Why are we even having this conversation?
Oh my God.
All right, don't worry about it. But if
I
you
am
can
worried about it.
demonstrate
You're
this,
spreading
then,
this
you know,
out throughout the community. Some people might believe you, Spurs.
No, well, again,
We
this
can
is demonstrating, isn't it? We just have to leave it at that. There's no need to argue over it. If you can't
What do you
demonstrate,
mean?
it's just a claim.
What do you mean
right?
if we can demonstrate it? Every car has tires with air in it.
Can I just say that even Brenda has given up, right? Brenda's left. And I've got to say this. Brenda's demolished your argument.
Well, for me, it's just the water in another state, a state that you can't see.
I had a leak
Well,
in my car
let me ask you
tyre.
a
It
question.
flooded my garage. Says truth
I'm
in your
actually,
face. Yeah, thanks thanks for the super chat.
I'm actually an expert because I used to work on air compressors in the military. I also work on air conditioners, which have a compressor in the system. So that's why he needs to define what do you mean by water.
All right,
What do
so
you,
all
what do you
right.
define by air? Because
Yeah.
all air and even water vapor can be compressed.
Yeah, but let's say you remove all the water out of that air. What will be left?
Well, it depends. Is it oxygen, nitrogen? If it's
I don't know.
air that
You
we
tell
breathe?
me. You tell me. I'm saying you remove the water for what
Define what water is.
you mean.
You're
define
saying water.
H2O.
You're making the claim. You're making the claim. Define water.
You don't know what water is.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you, do you define water? Because you're using the word. So you need to define it so we can be talking about the same thing.
Well, what do you think water is?
He's
Spurs,
asking you the question.
I'm asking you the question.
Flatulent Unicorn says Spurs chemotherapy is as thick as a brick. Oh, well, that's not very nice, but thank you very much for the super chat. Spurs is a very nice chap.
Hey,
Define
Chemo, you want me to help
water,
you out
sir.
here since you can't explain it?
Go on, Dave. You take up the reins, my friend. Be my guest.
Define water.
What we're
Come on,
talking about
Spurs.
here is how can you have a gas pressure without a container, right? That is the claim. I am a flat earther, and all I'm saying is that this one claim is not correct.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me. Can you wait until Paul is finished getting definitions from Spurs, and then you can come in with that argument afterwards, please? I'm interested to see how Spurs defines.
Well,
these.
first of all, define what you mean when you say what is. What does that mean?
Why don't I just define?
Oh my
You just
goodness.
said the word what is. Define what is. What does that mean?
That's define. You're asking what's the nature
No,
of
God,
something.
no, I can't
Yeah,
let
but
this
you just
descend
said
any
what
further.
is.
I can't
Define
let this.
what
No,
is.
no, no. It's got to stop. We can't let the defining things descend to before preschool. This is not. This is unreasonable. We're grown adults here. We should know how simple question phraseology works. Spurs. We shouldn't have to define what the term "what is" means. This is ludicrous.
Right, he's asking about water. This is ludicrous.
I think this whole conversation's ludicrous, but we've descended
Spurs,
so
maybe there's a
far.
reason he's asking you that question. Maybe he wants you to tell him what it's made out of, what it's composed of. Just answer the question. Don't answer him with what does what is mean. Are you kidding? Come on, man.
So what is? I've asked him what he thinks water is.
But see, I've already asked you the question first, so you can't do that. You're reversing it. I've asked you. Now you're asking me. So that
Let me have a try. Let me have a try. Spurs. Let me have a try. Spurs.
It's an odorless, transparent liquid. Water is a liquid to me. If you remove all of the liquid from your pressurized air container, what will be left in the container? So water is a liquid, Paul. It's a liquid. You understand what a liquid is?
Another liquid can become a gas.
Can I define liquid for you now? You want me to define the word liquid? You know what a liquid
Say that
is?
again, Paul. Hold on, Spurs. Can you repeat what you just said, please, Paul?
I've got a 2-year-old screaming in the background. So
Paul, let me...
hang on. Okay.
What Paul
you're
said
saying
was...
a liquid.
Go on.
Oh, you want to define liquid?
Spurs!
For
the love of God.
Yeah.
I just...
Spurs,
10th man,
Spurs,
Spurs. Everybody
Spurs.
shut up. I just want, even with somebody rumpusing in the same microphone, Paul to repeat what he said without anybody interrupting him.
He said to Paul before Paul's child started making noise, if you remove all the water from...
No, that's not what I'm talking about, 10th man. He said he's calling a liquid a gas.
Yes.
Right.
You can't have gaseous water.
Right.
Water is hydrogen and oxygen, and when it breaks down to a gas, those molecules separate, and it's no longer water.
What? The bonds break. It's still water. It's just not.
In your
bonded.
pressurized container of air, is there any water?
I'd like to answer that, Spurs.
Well, answer it. Somebody answer it. Is there any water in your pressurized
It's a
container?
different. It's a different state. It doesn't matter. It might have some liquid water, literally suspended in the gas. Yeah, you have that measured too. Humidity. But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about the suspension levels of liquid water. We're talking about gas. Regardless of what gas. Not just bloody steam. Any
And
gas.
I'm saying, if you listen carefully, if you pump a tire up, you remove the water, you remove the pressure.
What
There's
water?
No pressure.
What are you babbling about? There is not water in my tyres, Spurs. There's
Well, remove
air,
the water
a gas.
and see what pressure you have.
He's just talking nonsense. I don't have water in my tyres. I've got air at pressure.
And you remove the water, that liquid water that you said was in that container, there was liquid water. Remove that liquid water, that pressure, and see if the tire still stays up.
Hey, let me jump back in. I've got a moment. Hang on. I got a moment. Let me jump back in. Okay. In an air conditioner and also in air compressors, they have water vapor that remove the water. There's a lot of systems out there that remove the water, so you can have truly just compressed air.
Well, let's see. Have a pumped up tire, remove the water, and let's see how much pressure is in the tire.
Spurs, when you buy a
Spurs, yeah, give me the rhetoric now, the preaching. No,
all he said was now Spurs. Shout out to Charlie Jones for the super chat. An empty container, Spurs. Remove the water.
Yeah, but you've just said there's water in your atmosphere, in your pressurized atmosphere, in your container. There's water in.
Yeah, Spurs,
remove that water.
Spurs, let somebody reply.
I'd like to define water. Water is 2 hydrogen molecules and 1 oxygen molecule.
And water is denser than air. Water is denser than air. Even a water vapor is denser than the air around
What is air? Define air. What's air?
Oh my gosh. Spurs, I could take you down with a...
No, I really want Paul to define air. What is air, Paul?
Hang on. I'll pull it up. I'll define it with what we'll get on the same page.
Well, that's funny, Spurs. He asked you the same question. You avoided it for 20
I
minutes.
know, you did.
Define water, and I defined water for him.
No, you didn't define it.
I said it was a liquid.
Yeah, okay. Spurs.
Air the invisible gaseous substance surrounding the Earth, a mixture
Oh,
mainly
the
of
magical.
oxygen and
Oh, thank you. The magical
Spurs, you're
invisible
rumpusing
gas.
everybody. I'm hardly hearing anything but you. I'm hearing
Because
one
they
or
get
two
close
words.
to the
Now you're
trees, right?
rumpusing me.
Why?
Now you're rumpusing me. I'm hearing one or two words in reply to what you say or respond to, then you interrupting after one or two words every single time. Shout out to Flatulent Unicorn. Maybe Spurs is talking about wet farts.
Wow.
But we're getting
Well,
to
that-
the nuts and bolts now. This is an invisible magical force, just like gravity. This is what we can't measure, we can't
Stop
test,
talking.
we can't demonstrate. So demonstrate this invisible force for me, guys. Let's see
Stop
this.
talking.
Yeah, sorry, Spurs. Cloud. Is that invisible? Can you see
No, it's not
steam?
invisible. We can
Spurs,
see the
that was
water
3 words. You're going
Is
to
that
piss me
air,
off.
Nathan?
Spurs!
Is that air?
Spurs! Right. When steam, a gas, comes out of your kettle, it's not invisible or magical. It's real, visible gas.
Is that
Okay.
air, Nathan?
We're just talking about gas, and you're taking us on a merry dance in circles when we define what gas is. You say, well, is that air? Oh, well, air's got water in it, and so we'll go round again in the same bloody circle. I'm getting tired of it.
So you remove the water, you remove the pressure.
So I've just
Very
told
simple.
the audience what he's going to do to take us on this next dance, on this merry circle. And after defining what he's going to do, which is describe what's in the air and how much water's in it, he literally does it after I've said that's what he's going to do. If nothing, you're very predictable, Spurs.
Let me jump in here. Spurs, do you know what an air compressor? Do you know how an air conditioner works? Do you know how it works?
No.
Then look it up and figure it out, because they have to remove the water for the system to work properly. Freon has 2 states. It could probably have a third one if you put it in right conditions.
Mhm.
It has a gaseous state and a liquid state. Okay? That system is still under pressure, even without water in it, because you have to remove the water. The system will not function properly. And I said I was in the military as well. Typical air compressors that we used have water vapor, have things that remove the water from the system for it to work properly. You need to do a lot more research, buddy. I mean,
No, you need to do a
you
lot
don't
more demonstrations, Paul, instead of giving me your scriptures, right? Different scriptures that
Oh
nobody
my
can demonstrate.
gosh.
Okay? This is the point here. You've gone back to rhetoric. You've gone back to the globe.
No, I'm going back from experience, Spurs. This is my experience. I was trained to do this in the military.
Well, I've experienced God. I've experienced the faith of God, the power of God. What does that mean to you? Nothing. Can I demonstrate this? No. It's my belief.
Sorry, Spurs.
Okay, well, hang on.
What Paul is describing to you is how a machine utilizes the phase changes of Freon, and how in that process you have a drying mechanism to remove water vapor. Now, in a car, that's incredibly useful because you can use it to de-steam your windows, for example, with the air conditioner. So these are applied principles that are known, and you've got an actual engineer who has used air conditioners trying to describe it to you, and you're saying it's scriptures and rhetoric. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
Spurs, let me ask
If
you
you remove
to
the
answer.
water, you create a
God,
vacuum.
does this guy shut up?
What are you talking about? How is that
Spurs.
possible to remove the water? In his air conditioning, if you lower the temperature like that, you would create a vacuum. So how is he creating a zero vacuum where he's removed all of the water? Paul.
You've got an assumption about this. See, we have said it on this show many times, and I actually had a video on up earlier. There is a direct relationship between temperature and pressure. Okay, you can remove the pressure and reduce the temperature by removing the pressure. I was actually showing a video about that. They actually put liquid oxygen and liquid nitrogen in a vacuum chamber and froze the nitrogen and was working on trying to freeze the oxygen. Okay, and that is removing the pressure, which was reducing the temperature. Air conditioners work the very same way.
Yeah.
You actually put the Freon under pressure, which raises the temperature, and then you blow air across it, reducing the temperature, but you're maintaining the pressure. When it releases through another valve, it expands, reducing the pressure again, which causes the cooling effect.
All right,
Every day you turn on an air conditioner in your home, in your refrigerator that you're dealing with every day, whether you're dealing with it in the car, whether the military used it every day. This is something I have loads of experience in.
Paul.
As does Right the Hand. So Right the Hand says, I have a degree in air conditioning. You have a vacuum pump the air out of the system because the air has water in it.
Right. You have to remove the
That's why
water.
they can't make a perfect vacuum, because they can't remove all of the water.
Nathan, can I get a quick
He doesn't understand what he's talking about. I'm going to say that from pure experience. He has no idea.
I know. I feel your pain, Paul.
Anyway, can we move gears? Because Flatsoil.
No, I want to ask you a question.
Go on then,
Flatsoil, don't go anywhere, because these
Hold
are
on,
frames.
Spurs, just let him. Go on, 10th man.
Ah, Spurs, you're worse than a spur in my shoe.
No worries, just ask your question.
Very good. There's actually a YouTube station for graffiti artists, and the guy goes through spray cans of paint and tells you how to rightly shape the can of paint so the mixture of the paint and the gas in the can would be at the right level before you start spray painting the graffiti. Spurs, I'm talking slow. And then he has different nozzles to release before he puts the nozzle he's going to use to paint, so the paint doesn't streak. It comes out with pressure and paint.
Yeah.
And as a child, I remember playing around with spray cans of paint. Once the paint was gone, guess what? When I pushed the nozzle down, only air would come out.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? You have paint that would only come out if it's pressurized in the can with the gas. Once the paint is gone, what comes out only? The pressure. Once the pressure is gone, the paint can't come out, and that happens too.
Right.
So what's going on, Spurs?
So what that is the final elements of the paint.
Let me jump back in again. Do you know why they remove the water from different systems? Do you know why?
You can't remove all of the water.
Just to answer my question, Spurs, do you know why they remove water from an air compressor? Do you know why?
Because
I have no idea.
Because you can't compress. Because
okay,
you can't
he said he
compress
has no idea. Let me explain it to him. He said he had no idea. Water boils at 32, or what is it, 32 degrees? Not 32, 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Freon boils at negative 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. So virtually the water will freeze inside the system, fouling up the system. That's why they have to remove the water. Okay. Because they have two different states, two different qualities. You have to remove it. The water has to be out of the system, but it's still a pressurized system because you put gauges on it showing the pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is all in a contained system. This can be achieved. Yeah, inside a container, we can do this. Out here in the real world, this so-called atmospheric pressure cannot be measured, registered. It cannot be felt. So again, it's just another myth. And
what a load of bollocks! Why have you just declared all that? Yeah, it can. All of the above can be described. I can feel pressure. You can feel pressure. Yes, it can be measured. That entire list was nonsense.
Yeah, you can feel something invisible.
Chemo, and I will explain.
Read the definition again of air, Paul, and tell us how we can feel something invisible. Yeah, that's good. Now we can feel the invisible. Wonderful. That's all we need to know. That we can start feeling the invisible, magical things in this world. We can feel water. When it rains, you feel the pressure of the water. If it's fine, well, you're not really going to feel that. But obviously, if you had an instrument that could feel the water pressure, then sure. But this magical, invisible pressure, we can all of a sudden feel that.
Do you know how you can tell? Hang on. Let me jump in here. Hang on. I can tell you right off. You know how you can tell that when there's a pressure? Two things. You can either increase the pressure or remove the pressure. Like there's a guy on YouTube that puts his arm in a vacuum chamber, pumps out all the air, and he can very readily see that there's a lack of pressure on his arm.
Yeah. So what's happening here?
Adam actually came on here and talked about it. We are designed to live in a certain equilibrium. We're designed to live in a certain state. It's like asking a fish to describe water. It's the same kind of thing. But you take that fish out of water, and it's going to die. Same thing here. If you increase the pressure too much, we are going to die. If you remove all the pressure, you're going to die. We live in the reason you don't feel it is because this is the state we're supposed to live in.
No, that's wrong, Paul, because a fish I tell you what. Well, let me answer. Let me respond. A fish can survive at 33 feet. Okay, then the pressure outside of the water is still 14.7 psi. So there's no problem. It should be able to survive.
Okay, then the next time you could go buy a goldfish and show us that.
Exactly. You know? That's not real. That's not reality, is it? It's not really 14.7 at sea level. Otherwise, fish.
What keeps the fish alive? Is it the pressure or is it the ingredients in the water?
You said pressure. You mentioned pressure, and I was just correcting you that at 33 feet, it's 14 points. Real world pressure, a real world measurement of real world pressure is 33 feet under water. So if you have a device, it will read from zero down.
That's what I said.
When you go to sea level, Paul, it goes back to zero. Now, where's this 14.7 psi in the real world?
Did you miss what I said? You completely misunderstood what I said. The reason you don't feel the pressure, and I use the fish as an example, okay? The reason you don't feel the pressure is because at this state is where we're designed to live. It's comfortable. We don't feel it. If we noticed it all the time, we couldn't function. If every time the pressure changed and we noticed it, we would be focusing more on that. So we live in this state of an equilibrium. We've talked about equilibrium all the time on this show. We live at the state where we can function. You reduce the pressure.
Again, another misconception. I don't know where you get these misconceptions from. Right.
You will die.
But you're saying that you'd be used to carrying, suitcases around, putting them down, and then because you've carried suitcases before, you're used to carrying these suitcases. Now, if you were to carry suitcases all the time, you would get stronger, so you would acclimatize in strength. Now, you're saying that as you go up and down the mountain or up and down in elevation, you become stronger and weaker, stronger and weaker. That doesn't make any sense.
Yes, it does actually, because it's called athletes. They go to high altitude training.
How do butterflies survive then? Butterflies
he's giving you an answer, and you're moving. Hold on, Spurs. So he's addressing your point directly, and you've immediately gone, what about butterflies, when he got 4 words out about athletes training at high altitudes? Hold on 1 second, Paul. Truth in your face. Spurs, blow on your hand. Can you feel something invisible?
Pressure, yeah, I can feel. I'm the force. I know where the force came from. That's me. And I can measure that pressure, actually, how hard I'm blowing out, right? How hard it's hitting against my hand. That's real world pressure. Now, put your hand out in the real world. The only thing you'll feel is the wind. That's it. And the heat from the sun.
Paul was in the middle of making a point.
All I'm saying is if you put yourself in different positions, your body will adapt. And then I'm sorry, this is what I'm dealing with. Sorry, every time I get down here.
It's all right, Paul. Yeah, the body does adapt. That's right. You're trying to acclimatize. Your internal body temperature is acclimatizing to the external temperature.
What if there's no temperature change?
Sorry?
What if there's no temperature change? You go somewhere that's at a significantly higher altitude, it just happens to be at the same temperature because it's in a different geographical... I hadn't finished. Can you let people... This conversation's being horrible because of you, mostly, Spurs. You're talking over everybody when they get 2 words out. I've said it 5 times now. And then you keep doing it to me. So if it happened to be exactly the same temperature in a different geographical location where it was warmer at higher altitude, you'd still have to acclimatise to that. Nothing to do with temperature. You could have 2 different positions that are different temperatures, that are the same temperatures and different pressures. That's easily doable.
Not possible, Nathan.
What do you mean not possible? There are different geographical locations at different altitudes that happen to be different temperatures all year round.
Not possible.
Oh, God. You're just a denier of everything at this point, then. You're denying everything.
Can I interrupt?
You can't have low pressure, Nathan, and high temperature.
Yes, you can.
Kimo, why
yes,
do
you can.
Want me to talk, Kimo?
Yes, you can.
Why are you acting so dumb about this?
How does that work?
Nonsense. Of course you can.
What? How does that work?
My oven is capable of doing that.
Kimo, can I talk now? Because you can't get one conversation right.
Go ahead, David. Go on. I'm going to mute for a bit anyway. Go ahead.
Oh, thank God.
All I'm saying, Nathan, is the claim that how can you have gas pressure without a container? That is on the housekeeping. All I'm saying is you can have gas pressure without a container.
Okay, show me. Right, there's your claim. Don't want any bullshit following it. What I want is you to back that claim. So David in Discord says you can have gas pressure without a container, without asserting any fundamentalist religious beliefs about what the sky is. Show it to me.
Okay, Nathan, what we have here is we have guaranteed proof that planes do not fly above 100,000 feet, correct?
No, they do fly above 100,000 feet. You're just wrong on that score, not
whatever
very well
it is,
researched, still in the middle of my answer and getting talked over, clearly need to use the mute button. So yes, they do. You're wrong. You're incorrect. You haven't researched how high flight planes can fly.
Yes, sir, I have. And
121,500, I believe, is the highest ever. It was a MiG. So for you to say you know that they don't fly above 100,000, when off the top of my head I can name a plane that's gone above 100,000, makes you fundamentally incorrect on this level.
The other day we went and we...
So he's just going to ignore me? Yeah? I want the next words out of your mouth to be, yes, Nathan, that's right. I hadn't got the vaguest idea about how high planes fly, but I'm going to start my premise and my example with a demonstration that's fundamentally incorrect. Start with that.
Okay, well, I was using a round number there.
I don't give a shit. You were wrong. Yeah? So you're starting your example about how my world works with a vague notion of how high planes fly. Wow, this is going to be a great start, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's going to be...
No, it's not. It's going to be an awful start where I smash your first assertion that has now been disclaimed as a vague idea about what you're talking about. If the premise you're basing your claim on is a vague idea, yeah, it's going to be a crap claim. I know that because I've debunked it before you've even made the claim. The premise your claim's based on is wrong.
Okay, sir. What we need to do is decide what is the average. We know that the world record for a helium balloon is 178,000 feet, done by the Japanese in just 2017. The highest balloon, and it was only a foot in diameter. Correct? So
I'll start with my original question. Without any fundamentalist beliefs about what the sky is, give me a demonstration of gas pressure without a container. Now we're talking about what balloons do in the sky. I assume we're going to move on to a fundamentalist sky belief assertion after this.
Why will no man-made machine or any gas fly above 178,000 feet? Why?
I'll answer you. I couldn't give two shits. I don't care. I want you to demonstrate gas pressure without a container, not get me to make a logical extrapolation about what the sky is. Okay? I thought I made that clear when I said that your claim shouldn't be attached to a fundamentalist assertion about what sky is. Okay?
Well, a fundamentalist...
Also, he made a claim he needs to address that I want to bring up. Hang on. You said there's no gas pressure up there, or no gases up there. Prove that.
There's a dome.
Just rumpusing now. Now he's been thoroughly smashed. He won't listen to a word you're saying, Paul. He's just going to rumpus the Discord server indefinitely until there's enough silence for him to make his baseless assertions a few more times. So, are you going to listen to what Paul's asking you? Are you going to do a Spurs?
Am I muted?
Don't ask me how I produce my show. Answer me whether or not you're going to rumpus the living shit out of Paul or actually listen to his question and then answer it. Because I assure you, so far I've not got a demonstration of gas pressure without a container after you coming on, making an incorrect assertion about what planes do and telling me that I'm wrong in asking a question, which so far you haven't answered. You haven't given us a demonstration of gas pressure without a container, but you're here to tell us that question's wrong. So, now I've smashed you because you haven't demonstrated it. If you're to claim that why is there no demonstrations of gas pressure without a container is an incorrect assertion to make when it's actually a question formulated in housekeeping, then you can damn well answer it with a demonstration of gas pressure without a container, which I absolutely would assert is the antecedent necessary to have gas pressure. And as I say, without a fundamentalist assertion about what the sky is, you've got nothing here. Certainly not a demonstration of gas pressure without a container.
Well, you're making the assertion there is a container that's holding the gas pressure in.
Excuse me, dick brain. I have never made that assertion. Go and get me a quote right now, lest you be called a lying asshole. I have not made that assertion. You are a liar, sir. So, go and get a quote right now where I've made that assertion.
The claim is...
Don't stutter! Go and get a quote where I've made the assertion you have just laid at my doorstep. You liar!
You said, what is the container?
Oh, now he's asking me a question about what the container is that he's just claimed I make an assertion about. Where's my quote?
What is the container?
Don't ask me what the container is. You get a quote where I've asserted there's a container in the sky, you lying piece of shit.
What is the container?
Don't ask me what container is. This is what fundies do. See, this guy seems to have an agenda. His agenda's to lie about what I claim here. I absolutely do not claim what the sky is. Do you understand me, you lying sack of shit? You do. And you tell me that my question about showing gas pressure, which needs a container, and a demonstration thereof, yeah, that's unreasonable. And when asked to show gas pressure without a container, you ask me what the sky container is, even though I don't make that assertion very intentionally, so I can get short and stroppy when liars like you claim I do.
Well, tell me when I can talk, please.
You can talk whenever you like. You just rumpus me and lie about what I say. Are you going to get me a quote? You see, now he's talking. Are you going to get... Yeah, you're talking over me. When I ask you to get a quote to back the claim about what I have said specifically. Shout out to Joshua Doyle, says I'm destroying it. Yeah, you're damn right, I'm destroying this liar.
How can you have gas pressure?
Don't ask me about anything except showing me a quote. You said I claim there's a container and then started making your straw man based on what you said I claim. I want that quoted.
Your claim is you cannot have gas pressure without a container.
That's right. So you're going to show me that or just continue assert that I've said the sky is a container when I haven't said that?
You're saying that how can you have gas...
Oh, I'm saying... Yeah, you keep saying what I'm saying. You're not getting me a quote.
Your quote is you cannot have gas pressure without a container.
That's absolutely factually accurate. Yes, you cannot have gas pressure without a container. It is the necessary antecedent. And if you want to say I'm wrong in that absolute fact of a statement, then you better damn well demonstrate it. Not straw man me, not misquote me, not claim that I've said the sky is something. Shout out to Amanda Ying. He's got Nathan started laughing my ass off. Yeah, it makes my blood boil when people lie about what I've said.
You see how you do? You won't let me talk. Does the Earth have gas pressure, yes or no, Nathan?
Obviously. Obviously.
Does the Earth have gas pressure, yes?
Obviously!
Answer the question, yes or no?
Is he deaf?
Did you say yes?
I said obviously.
So then obviously they would have a container then, right?
Oh, you've made an assertion that the sky is a container. Have you, David? That doesn't sound like a quote of me saying that, which you've just said. It seems that you're putting words in my mouth and claiming they're a quote. That's not what I've asked for, you lying scumbag.
Does the Earth have gas pressure? Yes.
Oh, what you're doing is taking me through the logical steps I take my opponents through to make me make that conclusion and declaration which you're making. No, I don't do that, David. I'm smarter than you. And when people claim that I have made that assertion, which I absolutely don't make, I point that out and call them a liar, which is what I'm doing to you. I haven't said those words, David. You're just a liar. You're a liar.
Why do you
I haven't claimed that. You've claimed it now, haven't you? What you've done is made the logical deduction that I lead people to make. But I deliberately and intentionally don't make any claims about what the sky is, because I'm not a retarded buffoon like you, who likes to make claims about the sky. I don't know what the sky is, but you want to think you do, don't you, bonehead? While misrepresenting me, making up shit that I haven't said, and debunking claims I haven't made.
Well, the claim is you can't have gas pressure without a container.
Yeah, absolutely, factually, unequivocally true. And you will never, ever, ever demonstrate gas pressure without a container, as I have asked you to do.
What is holding the gas pressure Earth on the Earth?
I don't know.
Do we have a container on the
I
Earth?
don't
Yes
know.
No?
I don't know. Do you know?
Okay, so why do you make the claim that you can't have gas pressure without a container then?
Because you can't.
What do you
Did you hear
mean?
me?
So the Earth has a
It's
container.
a damn law. It's a damn law.
Yeah, you can't have gas pressure without a container. That's fact. Do I know what the sky is? No. Do I need to know and make a claim about it? No. But I can make people like you who are dumb and are triggered and want to talk over every single conclusion I make that logical conclusion. Now, the fact that you've made that logical conclusion and you are now bracing against it because fundamentally you don't know what the sky is your problem. Don't put that shit on me, David.
Hey, Dallas.
David definitely needs to take his hat off and cool down a bit.
Well, David is correct. David is correct.
Can you give an example of gas pressure without a container?
Yes, I can.
That's my question.
What is it?
The Earth.
Oh, right. So because he didn't put the disclaimer about having a fundamentalist belief in what the sky is, yeah? Because he didn't put that disclaimer in, you just go straight to your fundamentalist belief about what the sky is, right, David? What a fundy. You know better than the Globers.
How can you have gas pressure without a container is your claim. It's not mine.
Yeah, my claim is you can't have gas pressure without a container. That's correct. Pressure is the amount the gas presses. So yeah, that's a perfectly reasonable claim to make. It's absolutely true. Do I know what the sky is? Do I need to make the logical steps to make the assertion about what the sky is? No. But fundies like you who want to make sky assertions and conclusions and declarations about what the sky is, you'll make them all day long and claim I've made them.
The container is the cold temperature. That is the container.
Oh, right. That sounds like a fundamentalist assertion about what the sky is right there. What the fuck? How have you validated that load of old shite? Just going to declare it because of your fundy belief in what the sky is? Oh, right. Well, that's the problem we have now, David. Fundies making declarations about what they don't know about. And then they take it one step further and make all sorts of other nonsense claims and stories about space and second law of thermodynamics violations and things that can't possibly exist based on their original assertions. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not stupid enough to claim and make up what the sky is.
It's just a logical conclusion of statements you've made.
Wait, did he say that cold temperature is the container? Is that what he said? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Yeah, you did, yeah. Just made it up.
Is the container.
Just making it up.
That's correct.
There's a problem. Let me jump in. I can talk for a second. There's a problem with your assertion, though. Is the sun hot or cold?
The sun will produce heat when it hits water or a solid object.
So you're saying
what?
So you're saying light, the heat will only warm water or solid. It will not warm any gas. Is that what you're saying?
A gas will turn into a liquid. Every gas on Earth will turn into a liquid.
Okay, now you're sidetracking my question.
Yeah.
You're saying that
every gas has a weight.
Any kind of gas other than water or a solid. Is that what you're saying?
You could take any of the noble gases or any solid substance on this Earth, and it have a temperature if you add sunlight to it. Yes.
Have a temperature what? Increase or decrease?
Yes. Good question.
It will increase.
Increase.
Okay, now
you're not talking to Chemo here. Chemo doesn't understand this conversation. I do.
Well, hang on. I'm not done. Hang on. Is the sun between, or is the atmosphere that we exist in? Is the sun and the earth, like me? When I look at the sun, is that atmosphere between me and the sun?
That is atmosphere between you and the sun to a certain point.
To a certain point. Describe what you mean by a certain point.
As you rise, temperature drops. On the top of every mountaintop,
to the sun, right?
On the top of every mountaintop, this is provable by ice and snow being on the top of every mountaintop. This is a proven thing.
Hold on. Hello. There's a contradiction that Paul's desperately trying to point out, but you won't let him. You've said it will increase, but then you're going up and it's not. It's decreasing. That's a contradiction. I'm presuming Paul wants to point it out to you, but you won't let him.
When I get closer to a heat source, like I'm cooking some hash browns on my stove, as I get closer to the heat source, the temperature rises. So as the atmosphere rises, getting closer to the sun, wouldn't there be a certain level that the temperature would be rising with the gas?
No, sir, because as you go up, the temperature drops. This is provable on any mountain.
Sorry, that's circular reasoning. So his excuse is the nature of what actually happens. So he's going to apply circular reasoning, Paul.
Okay, and also he doesn't realize that there is a thing called the thermosphere, which means temperatures are upward of 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask about that.
Well done.
No, because Paul, the
Unproven.
sun heats the ground and the water
How can you
particles.
have heat?
Not-
You can't
not
have
the
heat. The
atmosphere,
sun
not this
produces
invisible
the
air
sun-
that you're thinking is.
So you're
heat.
saying the sun does not heat the gas, was what you're saying, Spurs. It's
Yeah,
only
the
heat.
water. I'm just saying the water. Yeah, the water, the gassy state of these thin particles and the ground. This is the only thing that. But this in between this layer that you're describing,
You need to-
this invisible ether that you're describing does not heat up. No.
What ether?
Okay.
You said ether.
Well,
didn't say it.
we can call it any name. It's magical. It's invisible. We don't know
Gas.
what it is.
No, we call it gas.
No, that's water.
No, that's not. That's liquid. That's definitely not gas.
It's a different. Oh, right, whatever.
Not whatever. Just this is stuff that you learn really, really young. I'm teaching it to my 2-year-old as we speak. I mean, literally over the last, well, not the last week, but a couple of weeks ago. This is something I taught her. 2 years old.
David does have a good point, though.
Any substance that comes from Earth can be heated. Okay.
Okay, so
That's lovely.
is the air coming from the earth, so it can be heated, right?
Yes. Any substance, gas, solid, anything on the Earth can be heated by the sun.
Well, anything
Right.
from Earth or not
cool
from Earth,
down, so they
anything can be heated.
freeze or warm up. That's right. So they
Okay, so
the particles are absorbing whatever they touch. They don't reflect or bounce off. So when the heat doesn't bounce back off the ground, does it? It just absorbs.
define heat. Define heat.
Well,
Define heat.
that's the temperature. That describes the temperature, right?
Okay, I'm going to define heat for you.
Well,
Basically,
Yeah, what is
the
temperature?
kinetic
What is
energy
temperature,
going on
Spurs?
inside the particles? Okay, that is heat. Heat is the kinetic energy going on inside the particles.
yeah. So you
Okay, so
can
if
feel
the
heat.
sunlight is hitting the particles of the atmosphere, which whether it be oxygen, nitrogen, gas, water, whatever, the heat from the sun will excite those and induce kinetic energy. Okay, so inducing kinetic energy is how you get a gas. You remove the kinetic energy and you get more of a liquid. Remove it even more so and you get a solid.
Yeah, the
So the
sun.
closer you get to the sun, it's going to induce more kinetic energy.
A quick shout out to Agent Dubsky says, I get to support and trigger Globers, question mark, double sweet. Shout out to Agent Dubsky for the super chat. And with that, I'm going to say, if you are watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you're watching live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who tuned in, smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum, which you should definitely join. A massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this debate possible. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on the premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!